Imagine living each day feeling as if you're precariously walking on a tightrope, desperately trying not to fall into the chaos below. That's the kind of exhausting mental and emotional weight that comes with dealing with someone who just doesn't seem to acknowledge your perspective. Someone who might constantly invalidate your feelings or undermine your thoughts. It's draining, isn't it? But what if I told you there's a way to navigate these interactions that doesn't require you to lose yourself in the process? A way that helps you keep your balance and maintain your peace, no matter how difficult the person in front of you may be. That path lies in the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, and today, I'm going to share how you can communicate effectively with challenging personalities without falling prey to their manipulation or losing your sense of self. Let's explore powerful, Stoic-inspired strategies that could save you time, emotional energy, and even redefine the boundaries in your relationships for the better. These methods are drawn from timeless wisdom that teaches us how to respond with clarity, resilience, and self-control. If you value the insights and strategies we're discussing, I ask for a simple favor. Hit that subscribe button. Don't skip any part of this, because if you're here watching this, you're not like everyone else. You're someone who seeks to master not just the situation, but yourself as well. It's tempting, I know. When someone exhibits self-centered behavior, lacks empathy, or consistently ignores your perspective, the urge to label them as a narcissist can be overwhelming. You may think that pointing this out will wake them up to their actions or force them to change. But here's a critical Stoic insight to consider. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them." This means that our labels and judgments, like calling someone a narcissist, often shape our experience of them more than their actual behavior does. Labeling someone doesn't foster self-awareness or inspire them to change. In fact, it tends to trigger defensiveness and aggression, causing the person to shut down or retaliate. Carl Jung famously said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." This tells us that our reactions, such as the desire to label someone, often reveal more about our own triggers and boundaries than about the person we're interacting with. Instead of labeling them, a Stoic approach would encourage you to focus on what is within your control, your own actions and reactions. Epictetus taught that men are disturbed not by things, but by the principles and notions which they form concerning things. When you let go of labels and focus on managing your responses with wisdom and detachment, you open the door for more constructive dialogue. This doesn't mean you're indifferent, it means you're resilient, protecting your peace. Engage in conversations that address specific behaviors and their impact on you, rather than accusing or labeling the person. Instead of saying, "You're a narcissist," try saying, "When you do X, it makes me feel Y." This kind of honest, clear communication invites reflection without building walls between you. Aristotle spoke of the golden mean, the virtuous balance between extremes, and here it applies. Find balance between honest communication and emotional restraint. This approach fosters understanding and opens the possibility for growth, both for you and the person you're engaging with. Gaslighting is another powerful tool in the manipulative arsenal of someone with narcissistic traits. It's when they distort reality to make you question your perception or sanity. But here's the harsh truth: accusing someone of gaslighting, especially if they don't recognize it in themselves, rarely leads to the desired outcome. Instead of getting them to acknowledge their behavior or change, it often triggers a defensive reaction. This aligns with another Stoic teaching. We cannot control others' perceptions or actions, only our responses to them. Epictetus wisely noted, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." So when dealing with someone who may be manipulating the truth, instead of accusing them directly, focus on your own understanding and emotional response. Don't give them more power by engaging in a cycle of conflict that drains your energy. By maintaining a calm and measured approach, you can distance yourself from the emotional chaos they may try to create. Acknowledge your own feelings, and instead of diving into an accusation, state your feelings clearly. When this happens, I feel confused or upset. By focusing on your experience, rather than attacking their character, you keep the focus on what's truly in your control, your own peace of mind and clarity. This not only helps maintain your composure, but also protects you from becoming tangled in their manipulative web. The Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of self-mastery. Instead of trying to change others, we focus on what we can control, ourselves. By choosing your words carefully, focusing on specific behaviors, and engaging with resilience, you protect your peace and empower yourself to navigate even the most challenging interactions. With time, these strategies can transform your relationships and help you lead a life that is anchored in clarity, wisdom, and inner strength. This is not just about managing others, it's about mastering your response to them and reclaiming your energy. If you found this approach valuable, remember to subscribe and stay tuned for more practical, life-changing insights. When you're in a situation where you feel gaslight, it can be incredibly tempting to confront the other person head-on, accusing them of manipulating reality. But this often escalates things, turning the situation into a defensive battle where the other person might double down on their false perceptions. Instead, take a step back, listen, and observe closely. This strategy helps you stay grounded in your own reality without getting drawn into their distorted version of events. Marcus Aurelius teaches that we have power over our own minds, not external events. This means your strength isn't in trying to change someone else's perception of things, especially when they're trying to manipulate you. Your strength is in maintaining your own sense of clarity and perspective. Gaslighting is a tactic designed to make you question your reality, but the key is to hold on to your truth without getting lost in the conflict. Carl Jung also offers valuable insight here, suggesting that understanding our own inner darkness is essential to dealing with the darkness of others. Instead of focusing on confronting someone else's manipulative behavior, focus on your own emotional triggers and reactions. When you're in tune with yourself, you can navigate difficult interactions with a sense of calm and resilience, rather than reacting impulsively. Socrates' method of questioning can be applied as well. Instead of directly accusing someone of manipulation, try asking calm, open-ended questions about the contradictions you notice in their words or actions. This method invites the other person to reflect on their inconsistencies, often making them realize the truth on their own. It keeps the conversation productive and non-confrontational, which is far more likely to lead to positive outcomes than a direct accusation. While the instinct to confront a gaslighter can be strong, the Stoic approach of focusing on self-control and maintaining integrity is far more effective. By preserving your own perspective and avoiding unnecessary arguments, you protect your mental health and preserve your peace of mind. Remember, your power lies in how you react, not in trying to change someone else. On a similar note, it's natural to reach a point where you feel like someone will never change, especially after countless frustrating interactions. You might feel the urge to tell them they'll never change, hoping to spark some kind of transformation. But from a Stoic perspective, this is a dangerous path. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own actions and reactions, not to judge or control the actions of others. When you tell someone they can't change, you're essentially locking them into a static version of themselves, which can lead to a self-fulfilling prophecy. They might become defensive, feel rejected, or even dig in their heels. This can prevent any real growth or change from happening. Instead, Stoics advise maintaining emotional detachment. You can still encourage positive change, but without attaching yourself to specific outcomes. The Stoic idea of impermanence reminds us that change is always possible, even if it doesn't happen in the way or on the timeline we expect. By staying open to this possibility, You protect your own peace by managing your expectations realistically. So, if you're dealing with someone whose behavior seems set in stone, focus on specific actions, not their character. Address the behavior calmly and factually, expressing how it affects you and what you need from them. By doing this, you can help inspire change without criticizing their core identity. It's about setting a positive example and reinforcing the behavior you'd like to see, not trying to force change through negativity or rejection. In any challenging interaction, especially with those exhibiting narcissistic traits, it's important to adopt a balanced and thoughtful approach. Instead of declaring that someone is beyond change or that you can never forgive them, Stoicism offers a more grounded perspective that fosters both inner peace and constructive dialogue. Stoics don't suggest we should be naive or hope for miraculous transformations, but rather that we cultivate a realistic view that allows for personal growth, both in ourselves and others, without getting emotionally entangled in the outcome. The Stoic mindset teaches us to remain calm and effective in the face of adversity, ensuring that we don't allow external circumstances to control our emotional state. This is part of living in harmony with nature, our own nature, and the nature of others around us. It's not about ignoring wrongdoing, but about choosing how we respond to it in a way that keeps us grounded in our values and virtues. When dealing with narcissistic behavior, discussing forgiveness can be a tricky path. The Stoic approach focuses less on whether or not you forgive someone and more on how you can maintain your serenity. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, famously said, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." This statement underscores that forgiveness is as much about your own peace of mind as it is about the other person's actions. Rather than expressing anger or a desire for retribution by telling someone you don't forgive them, Stoicism encourages us to focus on our own emotional resilience. When we declare non-forgiveness, we often escalate conflict and intensify negative feelings on both sides. It's important to remember that in Stoic thought, what matters most is how we react to circumstances, not the circumstances themselves. By keeping a calm and measured response, we avoid getting pulled into unnecessary conflict and preserve our inner peace. Forgiveness, in this sense, becomes an exercise in understanding human limitations. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, reminds us that to err is human, to forgive divine. While Stoicism doesn't demand that we forgive every wrongdoing, it does advocate for responding to others with compassion and emotional maturity. Choosing to forgive or withhold forgiveness should come from a place of understanding, not from a desire for vengeance or to control others. Aristotle's concept of the golden mean also applies here. When it comes to forgiveness, this means avoiding the extremes of either holding on to grudges forever or offering forgiveness too quickly without acknowledging genuine hurt. The key is finding the balance between emotional detachment and compassion, allowing space for healing without being consumed by negative emotions. Psychologically, figures like Carl Jung have emphasized the importance of integrating our shadow selves, those darker parts of ourselves and others that we may find difficult to confront. In the case of dealing with narcissistic behavior, this might mean acknowledging the harm done to you without rushing to judgment or confrontation. This approach can lead to deeper emotional maturity and a more profound understanding of ourselves and the people around us. One Stoic practice that can be especially helpful in these situations is silent forgiveness or emotional distancing. This doesn't mean we ignore the wrong done to us, but rather that we choose a path of healing that doesn't depend on the other person's acknowledgement or apology. By focusing on what behaviors we can accept and where we can set healthy boundaries, we take control of our own emotional well-being, rather than relying on others to validate our feelings or actions. The Stoic approach teaches that forgiveness is ultimately a personal choice, and while it may feel empowering to withhold it, this often leads to more internal turmoil than resolution. By focusing on emotional detachment and inner peace, we free ourselves from the negative grip of others' actions. This way, we can maintain not just our peace, but also our power in navigating complex interpersonal dynamics, regardless of how others behave. In every relationship, the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation guide us to act with integrity, focusing on our own growth and well-being. These principles empower us to stay grounded, making each interaction an opportunity to practice our values and maintain our inner calm. By embracing these insights, we can navigate relationships with more understanding and emotional resilience. Each moment, whether challenging or peaceful, becomes a chance to grow, learn, and live in alignment with our deepest principles. And remember, the strength to lead such a life lies within you. Keep practicing, and let your responses reflect the calm wisdom of the Stoic path.